They're the ones that wear purple. Right. They're not in the truth. It's carried over by these purple and gold faggots. The brother told me that the IUIC wears this on purple. Are they sinning by wearing purple? No. They want to wear purple, wear purple. What the hell am I getting at? Purple rain.
All right, brothers. Let's have fun with it.
Step up on the scene, casting at them doctors and them idols you esteem. Yeah, you might think it's a little extreme, but I'm all about my people, yeah, they need that vaccine. Oh, no actors, but we got that action. See them purple garments on with that gold accent. Yeah, you say you got the name, but your fringe is absent. Y'all going backwards like subtraction. So keep it in step. Sabbath day approaching, so you know it's time to prep. Sound the alarm, cause my people overslept. Yeah, you hear them trumpets blowing, sounding like a quartet. Yeah, this that purple rain. So the Bible you can't sleep on. When Christ return, yeah, the Lord gonna turn that heat on, and all that nonsense gonna be gone.
Let's go. Let me show you what I got the inspiration from. Give me the test.
You gonna go into the Bible?
I'm gonna go into the Bible.
These niggas ain't read the Bible.
I've never read the Bible. Damn.
They watch Prince videos.
There you go.
Let's be finished.
Okay, my turn. Purple rain on me. Exponential growth is why you hating on me. This is IUIC acting like you don't see. Boy, we know you frontin'. Please see us on the corner, so like you, we be like read. Coming out the scriptures, yeah, you know just how we teach. Teach class online 7 days of the week. Being earned everything that you wish you could be. You see it? Shafat, Pope, Campus, Serpent. Y'all ain't the original school, you just refurbished version. Urson, open your mouth, but won't speak with no verses. We got Bibles while y'all yapping, man. Y'all captain is worthless. Verses. I know, but the truth is the truth. Run your damn mouth and got Deke in the booth. Having fun with your slander, cause our fruit is our proof. Yeah, we worldwide with it, never mention you fools. Move. That's right, working man coming through. We got jobs, we ain't living off our women Hebrew. That's a nigga, my dude. But you say you a Jew? Hell out of here with that debating. You negating the truth now. Ain't nobody playing leather headband, man. Yeah, we heard what you said, but it came back. Man, we the prophets of the Lord. Better understand, put that foolishness aside and humble down. Clown.
Simon is so great. Nobody else is allowed to wear that coat. It would only him, so it's always a dignified royal pride. So they were mocking Christ in a garment. Purple garment on it and mocked him.
We the rulers, purple rain, excuse me, don't mean to boast. Screw the Israelites and all you gonna see is purple and go from coast to coast. We in the street, filled with the Holy Ghost. All this purple up in this jar gon' make you have an overdose. We the leaders of the people, so rock 44 and 4. Don't know no other Israelites that go harder than we go. That's left a quest for 12. Try to prophesy to island folk. Next trip West Africa, we waking up the Ivory Coast with Penna down. If you don't, it's suicide. Cocoa Bay, purple raining in your hood like them hustler working day. We is where United Christ dance right, don't curse them night. We gon' gather 1/3 and watch the world birth and fight. I can change since we came with the true God of y'all. Now you heard your church of pride. Yeah, it's true, you want some style. Why they hating on us? The prophets said it ain't a thing. Double honor to our beats of deep. Hate can't stand the rain.
So when I read these scriptures, brothers and sisters, I saw meaning in purple. I saw meaning in that color. So as a people, we've been stripped of our royal heritage. The wicked mocked our king, our leader, our commander with purple. Well, as servants, we don't mock this kingdom and raise up the 12 tribes of Israel. Doing it.
Can you stand up? Like with the tribes. This is not just made up. All this stuff comes out of the scriptures. And when you got a leader that cannot explain his doctrine, that's a fool. Exactly. Everything that we are about, we can explain.
Yep.
Out of the scriptures.
Purple rain, fly in the plane. Purple garment so clean, you don't see a stain. All that hate and bring us fame, so we do our thing. Purple rain, we giving you haters chest pain. It's a shame how these brothers got hate in the brain. They got the spirit of Cain, so we in our own lane. Nobody saying we'll jump in front of a freight train, but they killed the prophets and these brothers will do the same thing. Dang, I ain't about to play with kids all up in that Kool-Aid, but they don't know what the flavor is. Tell them what the flavor is, great. That they hating this, I wish I could see their faces when they looking mad playing this, man. Hard in the paint, I might slam. We supposed to be bros, we supposed to be fam, but about you on the internet, talking greasy like spam. Keep talking smart and we gon' clown you like Pam. Man, don't mess with the prophets that's out here wearing purple. We in the same mind, you ain't messing with my circle. A bunch of lions with Bibles, we'll let these scriptures hurt you. We jumping hurdles, we got the whole world on our shoulders. Sit back and let that purple rain. Don't kick against the bricks, don't try to come against the grain. Ain't nothing I can say to him. I'm about to go and pray for him.
We them dudes all purple, all gold. Unbelievers complain, y'all hurtful, y'all cold. I'm looking at your journal, then I'm looking at your members. Every year, same people, y'all circle look old. Y'all turtles move slow, we ain't with the feelings. Yeah, you ain't growing, you hit your spiritual ceiling. Y'all be hiding sins, not us, we revealing. Yeah, our nation's sick, and our people need a healing. But y'all ain't got the medicine, actions don't show. Y'all late, call them Letterman. Get it? Late show, David Letterman. Yeah, I'm at the gates, I see David, they like, let him in. All this purple everywhere, yeah, we stay ahead of him. Hating on the bishops, man, you fools stay sweating him. Why y'all steady hating? You supposed to be our brethren. Galatians 5:9, get rid of all that leavening. I bet you like it here, you look comfortable. When them chariots come, I'm trying to be punctual. Yeah, you lacking wisdom, so your breakdown dysfunctional. Y'all be playing kid games, go and grab a Lunchable. Haha, shame on you, we can't grow, so I'ma put the blame on you. You sound stupid, so now this purple rain's on you. Better repent, or he gon' put them flames on you. Burn up.
Because we what? Because we love. And that's what these brothers don't have. They don't have the love for the brethren. For you to go on YouTube and speak evil of any man, you understand? That's hatred. And without proof, without talking to that man without proof, that's hatred.
We them Bible beating prophets in that purple and gold. In them scriptures we on fire, y'all just mad cause y'all cold. Shut up. Every time we make a move, y'all complaining. Y'all shooting shots about the purple, now that purple is raining. Get them. It was written, y'all ain't spitting nothing new. They was hating on Messiah, now they hating on us too. They be waiting on us too, trying to see what we gon' do. We got 100,000 views, y'all just mad cause y'all got 2. Do the work, jerk, busybody. Over here we united and y'all ain't hurting anybody. I don't even know why y'all keep trying on. Know why y'all keep coming, tell your wife to wash your garment. Y'all be teaching, looking bumming. We the Israelites, brothers, we got work to do. How you find the time to hate another brother's work he do? That's what some old jerk would do. We don't play them hating games. Y'all just over mad cause y'all keep seeing all this purple rain. IUIC is growing, every year getting bigger. Won't let our sisters be hoes, won't let our brothers be niggas. We not the type of camp to sit around and talk about others. Y'all can hate your life away, but we got love for our brothers. Y'all brothers talking about colors. Are you serious, cuz? We the flipping sons of God, not the Crips and the Bloods. Y'all must be sipping the suds. I think y'all feeling the buzz. I could've swore I heard them hating, but that ain't what it was. It couldn't be. Maybe they just trying to get some fame. Maybe they just hoping we might justify their name. They call us purple rain cause we'll be raining over nations. Revelations 13:10. Brothers, please have patience.
Shalom, shalom. Hello, everybody. This is PhoenixKnightV2 here. Hello, everybody. Rebel Bro in the house. Team Bliss. It's the Lantern. Fortune 4 shooters. So far, that's what we have. But we're going to get to the biblical part when I was in this title. Because unfortunately, the Western women, as usual, keep going against the Most High God. And let me say why they go against the Most High God. Let me explain why, because I even got Bible verses about this. Polygamy is biblical. Having a second, third wife, it's biblical for us men, for one. We are designed that way. These Western women don't seem to comprehend that because they are bitter, hating against the Most High God. Basically is, if y'all sit there saying, well, I ain't sharing my man, then you are hating the Most High God. You're hating us men because you refuse to understand and you've been brainwashed and indoctrinated by feminism and by Disney and all this bullshit from years ago to this very day. So don't sit there and say you're not going to share us because, first of all, us men been doing this 10,000 years, having multiple women, and you Western women who are feminists, you can't control that. You can't control us or try to change the Bible how you want it to be. When you do that, you're going against the Most High God, regardless if you dislike or agree with it or not. Us men, and this is me just letting all men know, Fuck the bullshit of this damn system of us men have to settle down with one woman. First of all, we shouldn't have to do that shit because the Most High God doesn't give two shits about the system. We can have as many women we fucking want. And these women, of course, who are not down with the program, it's or you shut up or you could be bitter or lonely for all eternity. You want to be bitter and lonely for the rest of your life? Because that can come down to that. You can be bitter or lonely. Well, us men is like, well, how about other women? And then to make things even worse, these women been trying to control us for years, ever since the whole child support and all this shit. It's feminism bullshit. That's what it is. And when you tell these women the bullshit what they're doing is wrong, going against the Most High God of polygamy and having a second, third wife, they got such a fucking problem with it. Because you don't understand the damn Bible. You don't understand the Most High God. And there's even Bible verses of the prophets 10,000 years ago who had multiple wives. King David, Solomon, Moses. Moses had 2 wives. King Solomon had a wife and many concubines as wives. About 7 or 8, I can't count. But even the prophets had more than one wife. But these damn Western women ain't with this shit. They try to dock they do like, oh, you gotta stay with me. So I'm very Bible out there, but let me tell you something. When a woman does this shit to you, they keep you growing up your masculinity of you having more than one woman. And these women are too prideful, too egotistic to see that. Because they want to control you, that you stay with them instead of them only. But actually the Bible has been changed, saying it said one wife, but actually that's the biggest lie. Multiple wives. It's in the Hebrew Bible and the Greek Bible, especially in the Hebrew Bible. Both it said wives, not wife, wives, and that's what the Western women don't get. That's what they never get and they don't understand. And when you tell them that shit, they go with the same bullshit, repeat the same bullshit. They always say, "Oh, this man cheated on me for this other woman." You live in cuckoo fantasy land. That's what you're living in. You're living in fantasy cuckoo land. That's what you're living in because you don't want to hear the truth. Instead, you go against us men and hate us men. We tell you this damn truth. You don't want to hear the truth. Instead, you do the complete opposite. But hey, it's like I said, Bible verses, videos, they speak all about polygamy and concubines. Okay, Rungo TV spoke about this, exposed this. New breed as well. This man made people who expose this truth. These Western women just don't want to get down with the program. They don't want to get down with this shit. Now, we already know for other women in other countries, they get down with that shit. But they sure don't want to get down with this shit. So what does that say? They want to control you. They want to control you. Period. And if they get mad, of course, they got a fucking problem with you. Sorry to burst the women's bubble. You don't control us fucking men. We are designed to have more than one woman. The Most High God don't give a damn about the America's fucking law and government shit on marriage. He don't give 2 shits about it. And I know people agree with me on that because I'm 100% right. Yo, what's up, Jaden? Hello, Larry. I might stream tomorrow. Oh, what's up, Maltreese? All right, let me show some Bible verses of what I'm talking about. Now, a lot of people could disagree or agree with me on this, but I'm 100% correct because I always double check. And the Israelites had more than one woman. The prophets had more than one woman. Okay, it's not like I'm just making stuff up. No, like they have more than one woman. And the Western women don't want to get down with this programming because they're against it. Because they have no understanding. They have no understanding. They still don't. Where is the... Hold on. I'm trying to... Let me see here. I'm trying to find the verses. Give me 1 second. It's of understanding. Okay, I'm going to use King Solomon as a understanding. Okay, y'all see this? You see this right here? Y'all see this right here, for example? Look at this. Solomon, the king of Israel, of 96 828 BEC is said had inch of 700 wives and 300 concubines. The Most High God didn't have a problem with it. He didn't have a problem with it. Moses had 2 wives. So I don't see what the big deal is. I don't see what the problem is, folks. Us men knows this. The Western women don't want to get down with this program. They don't, well, not they don't want to get down biblical when it comes to us having more than one woman because they get jealous. They get mad. They want to control us. They do. Because us men, we are at the head. The women don't control what goes on. We are at the head. We are the protectors. Do we create to have kids with them? Yes. But do they control? No. They're the ones who's supposed to stay at home and raise the kids. We supposed to do the important stuff. Now let's see here. No, that's not. Let me go back. Because the Most High God did it. I don't know why that's keeps showing up. See, watch this. See, Moses had 2 wives. See, Moses had 2 wives. 2 wives. Solomon had a lot of them. So, what's the problem? We're going to also get into some videos about it. We're going to get into this because a lot of people don't seem to understand. Let me see here. Abraham. Oh, yes, Abraham. He had how many wives? Abraham had 3 wives. Abraham had 3. So what's the problem? What's the issue? What's the problem? What's the problem? David. David had how many wives? David? I also David. Oh, yeah, that's right. David had 8 wives. 8. So what is the problem? What's the issue? I'm gonna get more into it. Show some videos, but what's the problem? What's the issue? If somebody messaged me on Facebook, they're gonna have to wait. I already know who's messaging me, but they're gonna have to wait. They're gonna have to wait. Well, thank you first for alerting me. Let me go send the link in to Chayton because he did say he want to get in this. I am gonna show a video, but I want to hear his take on this as well because he mentioned about he wants to be in it. So Chayton, I'm gonna send it to you for you to hop in since you said you did want to be in this. Chayton, I sent it to you on Facebook. So when you get off work, you can be able to join in. All right. Let's get into the polygamy thing and concubines. I should have put concubines with the title. But I had to make a biblical point because Western society has brainwashed the women, thinking, of course, that we supposed to us men supposed to have 1 wife and that's it. No. That is the biggest lie and deception for so many years. Because the Pharaoh had a wife and concubines. The prophets had wife and concubines. Now, what's a concubine? A concubine is a part-time wife. That's what a concubine is. That's what it is. But certain people don't want to acknowledge that. They think, polygamy is wrong. No. Now, how could polygamy be wrong if the 12 tribes of Israel was created that way through that? Exactly. So there was nothing wrong with that. The Most High God had no problem with it. He never had an issue with it. He never had a problem with it to begin with. So the Western women, y'all need to stop the bullshit to your asses and get in the fucking line. If you're not getting in line, you'll be fucking alone. Okay? That's the problem with most of these Western women. They don't want to listen to this message. They don't want to hear this truth. They want things to be their way or try to change the Bible. And you can't do that. The Most High God hates that. He hates it. He really hates it. He really does. He hates that. He hates it when the women think they can do whatever they want to the Bible and there's no consequences. But enough of me talking. Let me go and close down this stuff for a minute. We're going to get to a video. And thank you, Larry. I got your message on Facebook. Thank you for letting me know. I'm not concerned about those folks, but hey, it is what it is. We're going to play a video on polygamy and concubines. Yeah. And I will be waiting for a person to show up. For sure. Because they won't. Oh my gosh! I didn't want to hear myself echo, but okay. Let me make Maltrice a mod. Just a regular mod. Okay, Mr. Lanner, I'm not gonna make you a mod. You're gonna, like I said, certain people have to earn the mod shit back. You know, if people cool with that. Remember, brother man, I make you mod as well, so now you're a mod again. You can join. You could definitely join, but let me go ahead and look up the video up. Give me 1 minute. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm gonna let you join in too, Reverend Brother Man. Don't worry. Let's go ahead and go to a video, and I want people to see this for themselves because a lot of women don't understand. After I do the polygamy, we're gonna go with concubines as well. But here, listen to this for yourself.
Are you feeling dissatisfied and unfulfilled in your current job, no matter how hard you work?
Is it true to say that the God of the Bible is against a man having more than one woman? The answer to that question when we come right back. Don't forget to like this video if you like it. Click subscribe, click notifications for future contents, and don't forget to share it with a friend. Greetings, family. This is Mike Allen here, digging in the word with yet my third installment, coming off of a 1.5 year layoff where I took a break. As I mentioned in my first video 3 weeks ago, coming off that layoff, I basically laid out what I've been doing, what I've been going through. And I also mentioned in that particular video that I want to take this channel into a different direction, particularly dealing with the subject matter of biblical marriage. I want to discuss the topic that you may not hear from your pastor or your preacher, or I want to reveal information that you might not hear from your preacher or your pastor. And definitely you will not hear it from most preachers on the networks throughout here in the West. And so today, my subject is 7 biblical facts proving that God is not against polygyny. Polygyny, often known as polygamy. Polygamy is just simply multi-marriage or multiple marriage. And I take issue with the word, so I prefer to use the word polygyny as opposed to polygamy. Polygamy is multiple marriage any combination. That is, a man having multiple wives or a woman having multiple husbands, or it can be group marriage. It can also consist of homosexuality and lesbianism. And from a biblical construct, we don't see an open, free-for-all, garden variety, whichever way you want to put it, have it your way construct of biblical marriage of polygyny. What we do see is only biblically a man having multiple wives. And so I know right now, the feminists, the egalitarians in society or in Christianity are taking issue with what I'm saying. But if a person is true to wanting to study the Bible or learn from the Bible, which is what this channel is all about. This channel is about answering questions, even the tough questions, giving biblical answers, reasonable answers to those questions. And the subject matter dealing with the subject of polygyny, the Bible has many answers to. And so I'm going to jump right into it, and I'm going to give you the first of those 10 facts. And I want to get through this. I have some data. I want to get through it, and I want to make sure that you are well informed that there are 10 facts proving that God is not against polygyny. Here goes the first one. The first one is that polygyny categorically is not a sin. It could not be a sin. Why do you say that? 1 John, the 3rd chapter and the 4th verse lets us know what sin is. It tells us that sin is the breaking of God's law. It is lawlessness. So if polygyny somehow is sin, there must be at least one law, Old or New Covenant, that states or depicts that polygyny is a sin and it is not to be practiced. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, you cannot find one scripture in the Bible that clearly states that polygyny is a sin. Every idea that has been communicated within this Western culture concerning polygyny somehow being a sin has been a stretch and a taking out of context, an eisegete of the text. And so in this first point that polygyny is not categorically a sin, without there being any law, we know that Moses is the writer of the 10 Commandments. He is the writer of the first 5 books of the law. He gave us the 613 laws and the 10 Commandments as the header, which all of the 613 laws fall under the header of the 10 Commandments. He deals with marriage by saying, thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. And so if we're going to talk about polygyny being a sin, or if we're going to entertain the idea of polygyny being a sin, what scripture specifically lets us know that God has deemed it as being a sin? The other thing about this is that Moses, when he writes the 10 Commandments in the book of Exodus in the 20th chapter, just a few verses down, going right into the 21st chapter, the 7th to the 11th verse, Moses gives provisions for the practice of polygyny. Yes, he gives provisions. He regulates it as a practice, implying that this must have somehow been a practice that was already going on. And he wanted this Israelite nation, this new nation, to understand what was God's perspective and what did God deem sinful and not sinful concerning marriage, particularly the subject or the practice of polygyny. Moses says within those verses, he says that if a man takes a slave or purchases a slave girl and he decides to make or designate that slave girl to be his wife, and he then decides to take on another wife, that the first wife is not to be diminished of any of her rights, food, clothing, and conjugal rights, marital rights, sexual rights. So that means that Moses was stating that it was good, it was moral, it was godly, it was okay for Israelite men to have multiple wives. The other interesting thing about this example that Moses used is that he uses the example of a slave girl. And what other status or what other person that we would consider to be low in society is one to be owned by someone, one who is a slave. What Moses is pointing out here is that the God of Scripture valued even the very life, the marital rights of even a slave girl, and they were to be protected. And so what you have here is that not only is God not against the practice of polygyny, and that polygyny is not categorically a sin, but that God even valued women within the practice of polygyny, particularly even a slave woman. The second fact is that polygyny is not adultery. Oftentimes, it has communicated through pulpits and through Christian circles when this topic is discussed that polygyny is adultery. Well, adultery, biblically, according to Moses, is a man sleeping with another man's wife. He is noted as an adulterer. And the woman he sleeps with, who is married, is known as an adulteress. She is not to sleep with any other man other than her husband, and he is not to sleep with any woman that belongs to another man. The law never says anything of Moses. It never says anything in reference to a woman having multiple husbands. But what the law implies is that the man can have as many wives as he can, providing that he takes care of all of his wives and not diminish their rights. The law communicates that he is not to have sex with or try to take on the wife belonging to another man. This is the reason why Moses wrote later in the Ten Commandments that he is not to covet his neighbor's wife. And so there you have, brothers and sisters, that the practice of polygyny could not be considered the practice of adultery. The third fact, and that is holding the position that polygyny is adultery, is self-defeating. Now, why would you say that, Mike? I'm glad you asked. Holding that position is self-defeating because Moses himself, the writer of the Ten Commandments, we learn not only was he married to a Midianite woman, we learned earlier in the book of Exodus, but he was also married to a Cushite woman, an Ethiopian woman, whom his sister and brother had issue with later in the book of Numbers around about the 15th chapter. So what we learn here is that Moses himself was a polygynist. He was a man who had multiple wives when he wrote, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." And so not only Moses, but there are 40 different men throughout scripture who is noted as having multiple wives. And a number of those men were writers of scriptures. And in order to be a writer of scriptures, one had to be inspired by God, according to the Apostle Paul in 1 Timothy. He had to not only be inspired by God, he was a leader. He had to be above reproach. He could not be engaging in sin. And in fact, the very law of Moses, he was to be stoned to death along with the woman that he committed adultery with. And so if Moses himself was somehow guilty of polygyny, guilty of adultery by practicing polygyny, according to his own writing, he himself should have been stoned. That meant David should have been stoned, who wrote a number of the Psalms. Solomon, who wrote Proverbs and Ecclesiastes and the Song of Solomon, he should have been stoned. Ezra, Hosea, but a number of the Israelite men in scripture, Gideon, I mean, the list goes on, practice the lifestyle, the biblical construct of practicing and having multiple wives. They should have been stoned. So to even state that polygyny is somehow adultery it is self-defeating by the very laws of God itself. The fourth fact is that polygyny was widespread already throughout Israel when they came out of Egypt. Polygyny was already widespread and practiced throughout Israel when they came out of Egypt. Now, how do we know this? We know this because 400 years in slavery in Egypt, around the time near when Moses was about to be born, the Pharaoh became afraid of the population of the Israelites. He feared that somehow if they continued in their rate of populating, that they would somehow overthrow their nation. So what did he do? He ordered that every Israelite male be killed. Well, guess what happened? We know that the Lord spared Moses. He ended up being raised in the household of Pharaoh. And so that means that in Moses' generation, he was part of a generation where the ratio of girls was so much greater than to boys. And so how in the world were they able to populate as a nation coming out of that period of when Moses was born? Well, we know when the Israelites came out, according to Numbers, the 2nd chapter and the 42nd verse, I believe it is, that there were 603,550 fighting men in Israel. And out of the 603,550 fighting men, they comprise of about 22,000 families. Well, if you do the math on it, it computes to about 27 firstborn males in Israel. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, that there had to have been at least about 54 children to every household. Yes, 54 children to every household, meaning that every household consisted of at least 10 to 20 wives. Yes, the Israelites were already practicing polygyny coming out of Egypt. This is the reason why Moses even gave provision in Exodus, the 21st chapter.
What if I told you that instead of setting up a green screen, you can just click a button into script and
Most Bible-believing Americans have been taught that a man should only have one woman in a committed relationship. Well, according to the Bible, is that factually true? The answer to that when we come back after the break. Don't forget to like this video if you like it. Click subscribe, click notifications for future contents, and don't forget to share it with a friend. What's up, my Bible digging family? This is Mike Allen here from Digging in the Word with part 2 of a 2-part series on 10 facts proving the God of the Bible is not against polygyny. The next fact is that God and Christ were both polygynists in Scripture. We know God in the 3rd chapter of Jeremiah, in the 8th verse, speaks of himself as being the husband of the northern kingdom, Israel, and the southern kingdom, Judah, and talking about divorcing these kingdoms because of their acts of adultery with or having fornication with foreign gods. God spoke of himself as being a spiritual polygynist. Not only does God did that, but we find Christ in Matthew, the 25th chapter, starting from the 1st verse, that he is the bridegroom that came or is coming back for 10 virgins. And in his imagery, he says here that he's coming for 10 virgins and 5 of them were wise and 5 of them were foolish. Would only mean to an Israelite who understood the practice of polygyny throughout their existence was that Christ was speaking of himself as being a man engaged in plural marriage. The 6th fact is that polygyny was a legitimate form of marriage in the 1st century church. Now, how do we know that? Well, we know that none of the apostles ever wrote against it, first of all, and all of which were Hebrew. The historian Josephus tells us that in the 1st century, that it was common for Israelite men to have many wives. Yes, many wives. And not only that, the disciples of, or the descending disciples of the apostles wrote in their writings, like Justin Martyr, that it was common amongst the Israelites to practice the practice of polygyny. Another note here to factor in is that in Galatians, the 4th chapter, the Apostle Paul talks about Abraham and his 2 wives. Not once does he speak as though the practice itself was evil. Now, the 7th biblical fact is that biblical polygyny is not based on a sinful lust or greed. Why do we say that? Well, because it is commonly said and is commonly accused of being something that is lustful in the hearts and minds of men. Nothing can be further than the truth. Why do you say that? When we have scriptures like Matthew 5:27, when Jesus basically says, you have heard that it was said to those of old, you should not commit adultery. But I say to you that whoever looks at a woman to lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Well, if you go back to the law of Moses, you would simply find that adultery was only a man, as I said, having sex with another man's wife. That was the sin of adultery. And another thing to consider is in Ecclesiastes, Solomon says that talking about himself as the king of Israel, and being blessed by God's provision, he says, I amassed silver and gold for myself, and the treasure of kings and provinces. I gather male and female singers for myself, and many concubines, the delights of men. So according to this scripture that Solomon wrote, that having multiple concubines, not just multiple, but many, is the delight of young men, affirming that this is the desire that was normal for a young man. And then in Deuteronomy, the 21st chapter, the 10th to the 4th verse, you see the commandment for going to war and taking back brides who were the captives of war. And what the Israelite men, part of that provision, it consisted of men seeing the beauty of women and desiring them for themselves, implying that God took no issue with men taking on wives based on their beauty. So I would say to you, and I submit to you, that the practice of polygyny is not based on lust, but it's based on a provision in the creation of how God has designed men for multiple women. The 8th fact is that God blesses men in and with polygyny. Well, now, how do you know that, Mike? In Samuel, second Samuel, the 12th chapter, and the 7th to the 11th verse, we read in the conversation that God is talking through the prophet Nathan, and he's rebuking and he's speaking prophetically against David. David, at this particular time, had recently killed his friend, put him on the front lines after sleeping with the man's wife and impregnating her. And this is what the prophet says to David. He says, I gave you your master's house, who was the king prior to David, which King Saul, and your master's wives into your keeping. And I gave you the house of Israel and Judah. And if that had been too little, I also would have given you much more. So here you have God himself stating that the wives that he gave to him, the wife that he transferred from the king that was prior to him into his hands, if that had been too little, he would have given him much more. The other thing is that we noted here in this particular chapter, he says, you despise the commandment of the Lord to do evil in his sight. You have taken his wife to be your wife and have killed him with the sword of the people of Ammon. So noted, the sin that David committed was taking another man's wife and killing that man. Not once does the scripture denote that what he did in terms of having the wives that he already had. Because at this point, David already had multiple wives. He had at least 7 or 8 wives when this took place. And so the 9th fact that we have is that God even commanded multiple marriage at times. Yes, Even at times, God himself commanded the practice of polygyny. Well, where do you get that from? Well, what many Western Christian people don't know is that there is this law called the Levirate law, which is found in Deuteronomy, the 25th chapter, the 5th to the 10th verse. And in that law, an Israelite man who has a brother, and if the two live in the same household, whether married or single, and if one of the brothers so happened to die without producing any children through his wife, particularly a son, that the remaining brother was commanded by the Levirate law to marry his brother's wife to produce a son so that his name would continue in Israel. This was to prevent the extinction of any tribal existence and lineage in the nation of Israel. The 10th and final fact is that since whatever God says is true, this validates that polygyny is a practice of truth. If God regulates it, authorizes it, makes provisions, gives commandments for it, blesses individuals with it, makes it a common practice, and God himself has blessed the institution, then God himself has deemed it to be truthful. Jesus stated in John 17:70, sanctify them by your truth. Your word is truth. Now, what does that mean? I have given you numerous scriptures where God was for, not against, never commanded against. God blessed, God provided, God encouraged, God allowed, God regulated, God protected the innocence thereof of the practice of polygyny. And that being true, that whatever God states in his word, brothers and sisters, it is true. And if polygyny is provided for and regulated and commanded and given by God, it is nothing but true. And so there you have it. These are the 10 facts proving that God, the God of the Bible, is not against polygyny.
Well, Bible diggers, that wraps that up. It's an information-filled 2-part series, as I told you. And then just summing this up, I just hope that you guys got some value out of this content, and I hope that you were able to take something away from it. But I want to leave something with you for sure. In summing up all of the 10 facts that prove that God is not against polygyny, one thing to remember is what Jesus says in Matthew 5:17 through 19, that he did not come to do away with or destroy the law of God, the commandments that Moses wrote in the first 5 books of the Bible. He did not come to do away with it or destroy it. But he said most assuredly what he did come to do was to fulfill it. He came to fulfill it, and he said that anyone who breaks or teaches others to break any of what Moses commanded will be considered the least in the kingdom. And he says only those who obey and teaches others to obey will be considered great in the kingdom. And so I want to leave that with you guys. If you want to be great in the kingdom, you have to consider what Moses says, even as it relates to the subject of polygyny or multiple marriage. I want you to reconsider what you have been taught. I want you to search the scriptures. Please allow what I have shared with you in these 2 videos to just get you started and just doing your own due diligence and your own research on the matter. I know so much of what we've been told is so different from basically what's revealed here in scripture, but I promise you, if you're sincere and if you do the work, you will find the answers. And so another thing that I would like and I would ask for you to do, if you got a comment, you got a question, or maybe you have feedback, what do you think about the God of the Bible not being against polygyny? With that comment, just put it down in the comment section. If you like this video, do like it. If you would like to subscribe, do subscribe.
So what y'all got to say about that? I'm going to invite Ripper because Ripper asked earlier because he joined. I'm going to send him a link. We're going to send him the link. I'll be waiting for Chayton to show up. Because he said but I'm going to go and send Ripper the link. Because I want to hear Ripper's point of view and Chayton's point of view on this truth, because I spoke about this once before. The Most High God ain't against polygamy at all. He still ain't against it. He ain't against it at all. He still ain't against it. He's still not. Okay, Ripper Brother Man, I sent you the StreamYard link on Instagram. So you should be able to join in. So it's no rush. But yeah, I want to hear Ripper's output and Chayton's output on this. Because when it comes to polygamy and concubines like this, it's all true. So, like I said, the Western women, they the ones who are against this. They don't want to cooperate. Yup, that's the problem. That's the major problem. And they've been indoctrinated not only through feminism, but they've been indoctrinated by Disney and by the government. They don't even realize it. They don't even realize it. So, no. I don't like being right, but I'm right all the time. That's the thing is. Because even I know this. Even I know the truth. So my advice to the men, always have more than one woman. Don't stick with one woman. Because you never know exactly is she's going to be really you. It's always good to have another woman, just in case. Just in case, always have another one. For real. So I'm just waiting for the other two to show up. Where I know River said give him a second, so I'm gonna give him a minute. Waiting for Chayton as well. I wish Big Boy was here, but he's not online, so it is what it is. So yeah, I'm waiting for Ripper to join and Chayton to join. Well, of course, Chayton will join when he's getting ready to. So I'll still be streaming when he joins. Like I said, it's for us men to discuss this. We're not gonna allow women on the panel. I mean, we could allow women on the panel, but we already know for a fact that women will go against this. They'll still go against this. No matter what, if I did invite one to come here to talk, they'll still go against it because they have no understanding. We are the leaders. Us men, we are the leaders. The women are not the leaders. We are the leaders. And that's clear as day. We are the head. We are the leader, not them. We are. Yep. I ain't saying nothing bad. I ain't saying nothing wrong. The truth is the truth. Let me get off that video. Hold on. Let me get off the polygamy video. I could have easily went to concubine. I could have easily went to that. Easily. Yep. I'm just waiting for these two. I gotta give River some time and Chayton some time. They'll be here. Oh, they'll definitely be here. Wait, what? Okay, Rip says it won't let me through. That's weird. That's weird. River can't get in. That's weird. Hold on. That is weird. Let me see what's going on. Let me check my settings. Let me see what's going on. Let me see what's going on here. Let me check. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Hold on. It says to play sound, enter guess, automatic guess, guess view see comments. That is weird. That is weird. That's weird. It's weird that that's weird how Ripper can't enter in. It's weird. I wonder why Ripper can't get in here. Let me look through my settings. Let me see what the problem is. Let me see. It's not letting him enter in. That means I gotta go to my settings. Give me a second. Let me see what the problem is, because I was looking through it earlier. Let's see. Oh, I think I need to take off one of the stuff off. Hold on. Let me see if that'll work. Let's see if that'll work. Hello, Brian Apsher. Okay, let me see. It says, it's like when I was trying to log into my IG. But, oh, that's weird. That's weird. Do you want me to put the link in the chat? Ripper, let me put it in the chat. Hold on, so you can get in. Let me put it right here. Now, if anyone starts, I want Ripper to enter in. Ripper, I put the link in the chat so you can hop in. Because you're like you're having some problems. So I'm going to delete that in a few minutes. I'm going to delete it. But you should be able to hop in now because I managed to put in the chat. So, or for you to enter it, then I'm going to delete it. I want to put it over there so you can get into it. I don't want nobody else in the chat to enter in. I only want River to enter in. That's why I put the link in the chat. Only for him. Let me see. Let me go back to my settings. One guess. Okay. All right. That's problem. Okay. River is in. I'm going to delete the link. Okay. Can I delete the link? I know I can. Remove it. Yes. There we go. All right. Yo, what's up, brother?
Yo, you can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. So
yeah, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with like when I tried to log in, click in, and it didn't let me go through the IG.
Yeah, that's weird. So what? Yeah. So do you want to about the topic at hand? What else? Showing the truth about, of course, the whole thing about the whole polygamy thing, the whole thing entirely. Because I wait for Jade to show up too.
Well, I'm still kind of new to this, whatever what's going on into the internet world. But like to me, it doesn't really doesn't make sense at all to me, to be honest with you, because I'm from the '90s, and usually where we go, oh, we used to have just one girlfriend, like something like that.
Well, just inform exactly is they made that huge lie, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
They basically we supposed to have more than one woman. It's biblical.
Yeah, I really did not know that part until I listened to New Breed side of the story.
Oh yeah,
and some thing he said it was true, and some into the mix.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's see. Chayton says, won't be to hop in. That's no, it's understand, Chayton. It's understandable. It's no worries. I understand.
But I do want to talk to you after the stream about something.
Okay. Oh yeah, definitely. We could definitely talk after this stream for sure. Now, just understand, Chayton, that you couldn't join. You have, it's all good. It's no worries. But yeah, we could talk after the stream, River Brotherman. But yeah, it was always been biblical what I was talking about because Newbury was right. It was not only Newbury who bitched about this, it was also Rango's reactions. He's even bitching about this. Yeah, it's been biblical for a long time. The problem is whoever changed the Bible lied. They lied. And when they did that, the women have more control, then we only stay with them and that's it. Because when they did that, guess what? They made our life a living hell. But us having more than one woman, we are designed that way. We're not supposed to stick with one. So you get my point of view where I'm coming from?
Sort of, but I'm still trying to progress what.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. Like you're just learning more about this.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, of course, like what these women be thinking exactly is, when us men have more than one woman, they be thinking, oh, he's cheating on us. No, you live in fantasy. You live in fantasy land. There's no such thing. But the Most High guy had no problem with it. No, it's not. They've been brainwashed in believing in nonsense. And these women don't read the Bible about polygamy at all. They don't even read it. A lot of them don't even understand it. We understand it, but they don't understand it. Now, we all know in biblical times that Eve got deceived by the devil, the snake in the garden. Eve, the one, got deceived years ago. We already know that. Adam didn't get deceived till later on because of Eve. Because Eve is the weaker vessel. Yep. But now, folks, I'm gonna leave it from here. If I choose to do a stream on Friday or whatever, I'll let y'all know. If you want to replay and rewatch this, you can watch it from the beginning when I show Bible verses about this, about the prophets had more than one wives. It's not a lie. It's all real. It's all biblical. And the Most High God has no problem with it at all. So if you listen to these Western women who are trying to twist the Bible, don't listen to them. They don't understand. Some of them know. That doesn't mean they understand. They don't understand the knowledge. They don't. So don't listen to what they say. Because that's what they like to do. They try to twist it so they can control us. Yeah. They try to twist the Bible for their own ways. Yep. So, brother, man, so you want to say anything else before I end it?
No, I'm good, bro.
I'm going to leave this topic along, of course. Anybody wants to comment, rewatch it, you can comment, rewatch it. I will be working on a video tonight and tomorrow, so I'll be posting on this channel. Talk about more true biblical stuff, so you can expect that. All right, y'all have an amazing day. Shalom, and I'll see y'all next time. Stay safe, everybody.